Hello, hello, hello. It is once again time for the Aftershow Podcast. I am your host, Sadat the Gamer, and this guy is somebody that just wandered in off the street. You may know him as Jay Shockblast if you happen to have watched some Armored Core recently. you may have seen him pop up on your feed.
A wild J Shockblast appears.
Hi. How you doing, my friend? As usual, Casual Avenger is enjoying some deep dish with the family and won't be here, but we are wishing him the best in all of his fake pizza endeavors. What's up? What's up, my friend?
Just living the dream. This time next week, though, I should still be able to do it, but I will be on a boat.
I'm on a boat.
Yeah. I bought the Wi-Fi package. I'm on a cruise.
Ooh.
It's the first day.
On a cruise.
We're going to Bermuda.
Bermuda. Ooh, that sounds dangerous. Bermuda Triangle.
Yeah.
You might run into some Atlanteans down there.
My enemies call me Namor.
Dude, I set that up perfect, huh?
You did, actually. You did. What's up? What's up, chat? Who we got here? We got Black King. What's up, my friend? We got King J. Appreciate you hanging out. We got a fun show for you guys. We're gonna, just in case Jay Shockblast gets lost at sea, we're gonna make sure this is a fun one. If this is his final show on the Aftershow Podcast, we're gonna talk some San Diego Comic-Con because a lot of stuff is going down, despite the fact that all these big companies seemingly pulled out. It seems like all of us superhero and gaming nerds in particular are going to be eating good that day. So, those 3 days. So we're going to talk about all that. And I unfortunately watched Secret Invasion episode 3. So we're going to talk about that as well.
Yeah. It's coming together. I mean, not great.
Yeah, it's definitely come together. I'd say it's definitely a complete package of absolute dog water. Like it was, like wasn't sure exactly how the dog water bowl would come together, but it's turned into like a golden chalice holding nothing but month-old dog water that the dog also peed in at some point. And your cat maybe dropped a hairball in there while wandering by. But it's something.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a show. It is definitely a show.
We are watching it.
It has audio and visuals. There's dialogue and music, so there's that.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's okay. You definitely, like, if you pay attention, I'm picking up on some things.
Dude hating on Secret Invasion would probably love She-Hulk. Definitely not someone who watches me or this podcast.
Yeah,
I absolutely roasted She-Hulk for how dog water the writing was. So
yeah,
no,
roasted her so hard she became He-Hulk.
Yeah, so, yeah, I'm not. Yeah, if you're clearly you're new around here. I
films her all the time. You should know.
I judge shows purely based on how good they are. I don't put them up against anything else. I don't have biases. I'm not one of these chronically online weirdos who can't separate their personal feelings from reality or art. I can look at a piece of art and say, hey, I like that. Or if it's terrible, like Secret Invasion's writing is, I can say, yeah, that sucks ass. It's not very good. And I can break down exactly why it's bad and why the plot makes no sense and why this is one of Marvel's worst rated things they've ever put out.
Yeah, it's very weak. The Skrull are they're finally becoming evil. I mean, that's what they were always in the comics. So I guess there's that.
I mean, the problem. Well, should we just dive into?
Let's just get it out of the way.
Let's just get it out the way. Then we'll talk about Comic-Con, the fun stuff out of the way. So my so the theme of Secret Invasion so far is that everyone hates Nick Fury. Nick Fury sucks. Nick Fury's terrible. That's the main. That's the base. That's basically the whole theme of the show. It's become a very growing and annoying trend about when it comes to Marvel, post Captain Marvel, and they really like the amount the writers hate Nick Fury is like aggressive. Like it's bad. It's bad. How like it's weird that you would build a show around a character to get because you presume you're like, oh, we're making a Nick Fury show. Let's hope people come in and they want to see Nick Fury be cool and have fun with Nick Fury. But in the minds of these writers, they're like, oh no, I'm coming to a Nick Fury show to hear you shit all over Nick Fury and make him sound like the worst person ever. And
I mean,
it was pretty overt in the first two episodes. The whole thing was like, oh yeah, we want to destroy the world, but it's totally your fault, Nick Fury, because you left. You got snapped, and then you went to a space station for some reason, probably to defend the Earth. But who cares? That doesn't matter because you left. You promised, and that's why we're not evil. We're just doing this because Nick Fury's bad, and also humans are bad anyway. Blah blah blah, and then they really doubled down in this episode because Talos, literally in the car, basically says, not even basically, literally says, Nick Fury is worthless. He is trash. He would not have anything if it wasn't for the Skrulls. He breaks this down because they were having this riveting conversation while about to do their spy mission, and they were talking about, as you would expect in a spy show, dogs. Why do people like dogs? What's the thing about dogs? And they talked about, why do dogs, why do you pick up shit? What's that? What's that whole dynamic? And Fury's like, well, I've been picking up your crap for 30 years. And Tal's like, oh, really? Well, actually, you were nothing. You were a loser in a desk job. And then when we came to Earth, we saved you, Nick Fury. You're okay. You're somewhat smart, but nothing you've done would have any merit without us. You got promoted. We did that. You stopped terrorists. We did that. You got intel. We did that. You are nothing, Nick Fury, without the Skrull. Also, that cool story we thought we were going to get because of your eye patch, actually you got scratched by a cat. So your war scar isn't even cool. You suck, Nick Fury. You're terrible. You're worthless. No one needs you. That's literally Secret Invasion.
Yeah.
That is literally the show.
Yeah. I mean, that's not wrong. I mean, in the comics, everybody hates Nick Fury too. So I guess there is some merit to setting it up this way, but everybody hates Nick Fury because he takes what he wants, he does what he wants.
Exactly.
And this is a little bit different. This is old washed Nick Fury, that's scared of something, but like still has that exaggerated swagger out of nowhere. So I don't know, but kind of spoilery, but not spoilery.
Who cares about spoilers? The show sucks. Okay. Also, it was on Disney Plus. It's Friday. It came out on Wednesday. It's Friday. Who cares about spoilers?
Fair enough. So one thing that I picked up on, and I'm sure you picked up on it too, I think we have confirmation that Rhodey is a Skrull.
Correct, because because during the there's a scene where they have, this is also incredibly stupid. I'll get to that in a minute. So the big plot is basically, okay, so Daenerys Targaryen's character, Emilia Clarke, she's basically working undercover for Talos and kind of adjacent to Nick Fury. They're all on the same side, basically. She's giving Talos intel on Gravis, but Gravis also doesn't really trust her, but kind of, because they had a snitch situation and he's kind of suspecting everybody's like, all right, well, I kind of believe you, whatever, and come with me on this mission. We're going to have a parlay with your father. So that was the whole scene where Talos and Gravis are in a cafe. Talos has a chance to literally kill him multiple times and doesn't, because why save the world when you can just talk? But they obviously don't come to an agreement, and Talos is basically like, yeah, I'm going to blow up your whole plan. I'm going to tell everyone in the government it's the Skrulls attacking them. They're gonna exterminate you like the dogs you are, and all that good stuff. And for some reason, right after that, Talos is allowed to leave, despite the fact that he's literally surrounded by the enemy, and he does not go and tell anyone. He goes and has a proper English breakfast with Nick Fury, who pops in, and then they come up with their plan where they're basically going to go to this general's house because he's a Skrull, and the whole plan is that there's a UN plane that they're going to basically blow up with a submarine, and it's going to cause World War III. So the plan is, okay, we have to stop the submarine from World War III. The only way is to break into the general's house and stop him from doing it. So they very clumsily break in. Talos even gets himself captured, and Nick Fury comes through and is smart enough to bring a hostage, which we'll get into why this doesn't make sense. But he brings a hostage because Talos, when he asks Talos what's going on, he calls him Nick, and Fury comes in and finds a kid, the general's son, in the room playing video games. He grabs him, puts a gun, and is like, yeah. I knew something was off because no one calls me Nick. And that basically is a hint that Rhodey is a Skrull, because in their scene, he calls Fury Nick. Everyone calls him Fury. If you don't call him Fury, he gets suspicious. So that's, I guess, our clue that if anyone that calls him Nick from this point on is a Skrull. But they do a little hostage trade off, which doesn't make sense unless the kid is a Skrull too, because if the kid isn't a Skrull, which they didn't confirm exactly, then it's like, well, why do you care if this kid dies? You're not his dad. But if he's a Skrull, it's like, okay, cool. We have leverage. But then they don't use that leverage later on, because he uses the leverage to make him let go of Talos. And then they're like, okay, we have to torture this guy to get the codes, because the only way we can stop the submarine from blowing up the UN plane is to get the codes and stop and call it in to abort the mission. Of course, the obvious solution is to literally just contact the plane and tell them to turn around because it's about to get blown up, or tell everyone the Skrulls are invading and trying to destroy the world. But no one ever does that. So somehow they still have the element of surprise, and they just spend this whole segment trying to unsuccessfully torture this guy in order to get him to give up the code. But they never at any point threaten his son like they previously did to get him to let go of Talos. They just ignore that and end up killing him. So they don't get the code. But
I don't think the son's a Skrull, because they have the real general being held.
Yeah.
So they could access his memories. So I just think the kid doesn't know that his dad, in this case, is not his dad,
In which case, it wouldn't even make sense for him to even work as a hostage, because it's like, okay, he's a kid. I don't care. I'm about to destroy. He's literally working to destroy all of humanity. Like, why would he give up Talos in exchange for a kid that's not his, that he's going to kill anyway?
Why are people coming here thinking this is Comic-Con?
I have literally no idea. Comic-Con is
not even this week. It's not even happening.
It's July 20th. but anyway, he gets Daenerys to blow her cover, basically, to get the gold code out of his memories. Because again, none of these super spies consider, hey, let's just contact a plane and turn them around. And they get the code, so that also they also did the submarine thing wrong. The submarine with the explosion, they have keys where you need two people to turn the keys at the same time. that's the protocol to make sure no one abuses these, missile launches. But in Secret Invasion, they didn't understand this dynamic, so they have the stations where the keys are like right next to each other. It's supposed to be designed so that two separate people have to turn the keys at the same time. But the way it's set up, one person can access both keys at the same time. And it almost results in them setting off the missile anyway, because they get the code in time, but the guy who's a Skrull is like, oh, as soon as he sees the report, he goes to turn both keys at the same time because they're right next to each other, which is not how it works. They're supposed to be on other sides of the room. That's not how it works. But again, who cares about details? It's a MC show. They clearly don't care about details or Nick Fury. So they temporarily saved the day. But of course, surprise, surprise, it was a trap, because the only reason they even knew about this is because Gravis deliberately, obviously, in the car said the coordinates and everything out loud so she can hear to the person on the phone who already knows this information. just so she knowing she's going to type it in and give it to Fury. So of course then he kills her. But I'm just like,
but is she dead?
Probably, but who cares?
Probably not. I can't imagine they kill her off.
There's something about her. I saw an article about her being in a next MCU project, in another MCU appearance. So maybe she survived the gunshot wound. Maybe she didn't. Who cares? She's not a good character.
Well, I also didn't understand why, Talos puts like a knife through Gravik's hand, and he's just like, huge. Like, has he already had the Super Skrull thing happen, or?
Yeah, the super. Yeah, so their version of Super Skrulls is basically, oh well, we're all going to be Super Skrulls because we'll be able to use the powers of people we transform into. But and they can also apparently now change into people without touching them, because when he was monologuing his Super Skrull grand plan, they were showing on the other side the mission of them infiltrating the Navy base, and they just basically had Skrulls look at pictures of guys they were turning into, and they just turned into them. So the whole excuse that they gave, the throwaway excuse that they gave for why the Avengers or anyone like that wasn't involved, was because, oh well, we could just turn into them and it would be chaos. Except, well, before you could turn into them, but you wouldn't have their powers, and you would have to capture them in order to do so. But also now you don't have to, so you can also just turn into them just by looking at a picture of them anyway. And so the actual reason the Avengers aren't involved is because, one, they can't comprehend writing that, writing a script that incorporates that, and also they obviously can't afford the cameos because this is very much a budget show. So they're trying to write around the obvious that reasons why the Avengers aren't involved in what is most definitely an Avengers level plot. Like, come on.
Yeah, well, I mean, in the comics, Secret Invasion involved like everybody,
Yeah.
Like, I remember Spider-Woman was the Skrull Queen. So yeah, it's a show and it's on. I mean, I didn't even need much. I just needed it to be like moderately entertaining, and it's
like extremely boring. Like the entire show is two people in a room talking to each other, followed by two people in a room talking to each other, followed by two people in a room talking to each other, followed by a brief action sequence, followed by two people in a room talking to each other.
That's what a lot of the Disney Plus stuff has been. It's been dialogue heavy, and that's because you're only going to get so much for $5 a month. Like, doesn't matter how many subs there are. Like, they have to pay for this somehow, and these shows have been kind of lower budget.
Yeah, I wonder why. I mean, they could definitely. I feel like if they weren't constantly putting out garbage, they would have some money to spend on some of these shows. I mean, but I don't even buy it as a budget thing, because there are plenty of shows. There are internet YouTube based shows that are amazing with not even a fraction of the money they spend on these shows. So it's not even a matter of budget. Like my problem with Secret Invasion isn't that it's not enough CGI or it's not enough expensive cameos. It's that it sucks. The writing is the plot itself makes no sense. Like, and the main character, that the main reason we're supposed to be tuning into the show, Nick Fury, the writers clearly hate him, and they're trying to directly make it seem like Nick Fury actually isn't cool at all. He's just this terrible character. They're spending most of the show deconstructing him, and the other half trying to justify the Skrulls committing literal genocide. It doesn't make it. It's like I distinctly remember them talking about, oh, there are no bad guys. Oh, this is going to be a spy thriller. There's no good or evil here. It's shades of gray. There are no bad guys here. I mean, literally, the bad guy here wants to exterminate all humans, and Fury and Talos are like, don't do that. How is that shades of gray? Like, because what? Because you came up with a half-ass reason? Well, Nick Fury promised them their own planet 30 years ago, and now, because they don't have a planet of their own,
here's the real question.
Everyone on Earth. Yeah.
Here's the real question I have, okay? So, like, over the course of 30 years, more Skrull are arriving, and they put out the beacon, they put out the call.
Yep.
Everybody
Skrulls.
come here.
Million Skrulls.
So two questions. Number one, how did they get here?
Great question.
And number two, if Nick Fury is up at the space station and they could get to Earth and they really needed Nick Fury, why couldn't they just go to the space station?
Or why did Nick Fury stop them?
There's a lot of questions.
Why didn't Captain Marvel stop them? Why didn't Captain Marvel find him a planet? Why isn't Captain Marvel involved at all?
Yeah.
What is Captain Marvel doing?
Stay tuned to the Marvels, only in theaters.
Like, why is Nick Fury even in a space station? If not to prevent specifically this, million Skrulls from invading the Earth. When did they invade?
I'm assuming the space station is supposed to be like Sword, right?
Yeah.
So
did they invade? I'm guessing they invaded before the space station. Is that what we're?
Yeah, or as it was being built, but I don't know. I mean, they are Skrull, but like, yeah, it's really weird. Like the whole thing. I mean, I'm assuming and I'm hoping that when it's all played out, when it's all said and done, we're gonna be able to look back on it and say,
I can't wait till it's over.
We're gonna look back on it and be like, oh, I see. But
yeah, I have a feeling by the end I'm going to say, oh, I see. They are complete hacks that don't know what they're doing.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting, but I'm not even asking for excellent. I'm easier to please than you, obviously, and even I'm like, man, like it's tough to make She-Hulk look entertaining.
Jay, I would take Hawkeye at this point.
I mean, yeah, all right.
I would take literally every Disney Plus show I would take the Book of Boba Fett, and not the parts that are literally just the Mandalorian, like the non-Mandalorian parts of Book of Boba Fett.
Take a whole episode of him learning how to speak Sand people.
Yes, 100%. That's more interesting than every episode of Future Innovation so far. This is terrible. This is by far the worst thing they've ever put on Disney Plus.
And you can't even like fake like it for the culture either. That says a lot.
there's literally nothing here for the culture. There's nothing here. It's just bad. It's on every way.
But hey, at least Don Cheadle got to talk about carpet bombing.
Yeah, and at least we got to hear Nick Fury talk about fried chicken and deviled eggs.
Hey, this is a little bit of a segue.
Thank
you
God.
see the comments from Don Cheadle about how he's upset that he wasn't like him and Nick Fury or Samuel L. Jackson weren't asked to be in Wakanda Forever?
What? They weren't?
Like he had some comments that he was like disappointed that they weren't, but like they've never really associated neither of them. I mean, I guess they were in Wakanda at one point, but like,
yeah,
or well, at least War Machine was, but
yeah, but they're black. But they're black. How dare they?
I mean, that's obviously that's obviously the insinuation. You know what I
mean? How dare they? Not, I mean, I honestly, I think they dodged a bullet there because I don't even know how they would fit War Machine and Nick Fury, and clearly they hate Nick Fury, so he wouldn't have contributed much. And War Machine, I guess they could have used the firepower to fight the Atlanteans, but whatever they're called, they're not Atlanteans anymore.
But like, Rhodey's with the Air Force,
right? He basically works for the U.S. government. He's basically like Sam, like he's basically working for the government.
And like the Air Force wouldn't be trying to track down Ironheart, So,
I mean, presumably you would want them involved in like the whole vibranium detector thing because that became like a national.
But that would be more Navy, though.
Yeah, for sure. But he has with this technology, they could definitely use them. You're like, hey, well, why don't you? Hey, this is where the vibranium's coming from. How about you fly over and do some recon with your Iron Man suit?
Yeah. I don't know. I found those comments interesting, and it always seems like it's something with these actors. They feel like they can just project what they want, and like story making sense be damned. Like the whole all the females in Endgame should get their own movie together, and it's like,
yeah, well, that sounds exciting.
That doesn't make sense. None of you make sense. None of your characters make sense outside of the sequence.
I mean, the sequence itself didn't make sense. like every female on the battlefield just happens to land together in the same spot at the same time to help Captain Marvel carry a thing across the field, which she doesn't need help doing because she can fly at the speed of light, faster than the speed of light.
Yeah.
And just literally brought down a spaceship with her fist.
Yeah.
like that entire scene was clearly just pure 100% pandering. It had no value beyond that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, anyway, so I think that's more than enough time spent on. That's probably way too much time spent on Secret Invasion.
My enemies call me Namor.
No. Let's move on to something actually interesting, Mr. Shock Blast, and that will of course be San Diego Comic-Con, because oh boy,
I'm so mad I'm not going.
Now you are. I'm sure, because
there's a lot of reasons. There's reasons I can't talk about and reasons I can. Yeah.
Well, this is definitely the reason that most people are going to be talking about it, because it's happening, folks. I actually did a live stream today on my main channel covering some of the stuff I missed in my video yesterday, but it's happening. San Diego Comic-Con is getting Venomized. The symbiote invasion is happening. It's going down in Hall H. This is going to be, all you Spider-Man 2 fans, this is happening on July 20th. This particular panel with Marvel Spider-Man 2 is going to be running from 2:30 Pacific time to 3:30. It's going to be an hour-long presentation, and it's going to be all about Venom and the symbiotes, and all the heavy hitters are going to be there. Brian Intihar, Bill Roseman, the voice actors, Yuri, Naji, Laura, Tony, it's going to be insane, and
everybody's going to enjoy reading the people in the crowd's live tweets because it's not going to be televised or shown anywhere.
It will be. Specific. That's the other cool thing this time around. We don't, unlike previous events, it won't just be us reacting to live tweets or anything like that. Marvel Digital is going to be doing live coverage throughout San Diego Comic-Con, specifically of the Marvel panels. Ryan Penagos is going to be one of the hosts, and he's going to be streaming from the 20th to the 22nd, I think, at the very least.
But they usually do that at the booth. Like San Diego Comic-Con has a rule where panels can't be streamed.
They have a rule. Well, he directly said in the article that they are going to be streaming
interesting
panels.
Yeah, well, like that's always been like, I remember every San Diego Comic-Con every year I get so pissed because like I go to plenty of conventions
for sure,
and I'm always like, you know what, if they live stream this, what do I care? I'm here, I'm getting the experience. I don't need somebody else that can't be here to suffer and not be able to see this, you know what I mean? So that's always been my issue with San Diego Comic-Con is they've always had this rule where the panels cannot be live streamed. Usually you just be on Twitter waiting for people in the audience to like tweet pictures and stuff like that and look at that. But yeah, I don't know.
Looks like it's changing this time around. We can actually, let me just pull up Ryan's Twitter.
I've met him a few times. Really nice.
Yeah, of course you have met him. Of course. Let me do it on my end, and I'll just copy and paste it over. But yeah, he said I was surprised when I initially saw that he would be streaming it, because I do remember that usually the Comic-Con panels basically is everyone's just on Twitter during Comic-Con and doing live updates. But obviously they're definitely going to be uploading some stuff. But yeah, let me see. Here's the article. Here's the original article that teased Marvel Spider-Man 2, but it didn't actually have it. It didn't actually have the Spider-Man specifics of it yet. So we're going to share this real quick. This is what Ryan retweeted. So it says, let's see. Thursday, July 20th through to Sunday, July 23rd. Fans can stop by the Marvel booth for the live stream broadcast, giveaways, signings, grab convention exclusive merchandise at the store, all that good stuff. Marvel's social and digital teams will be on the ground at Comic-Con hosting the exciting events in the Marvel booths, and fans at home can experience it all by watching the exclusive live stream broadcast hosted by Ryan Penagos, Langston Belton, Raylo, and Josh Salah. Fans stay up to date on the biggest stories and breaking news by tuning into Marvel.com, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, and Twitch. Tour the convention floor with Marvel, learn about some of your favorite Marvel characters, and don't miss anything from the Marvel stage and events around San Diego Comic-Con. An overview of Marvel's panels can be found below, and stay tuned for additional information about Marvel Spider-Man 2 and Marvel Snap. So there you go. And this is the full list of events. They have Designing the X-Men, Room 7A from 4 to 5, Art of Storytelling, all that good stuff. So it sounds like they're going to be doing a bunch of live coverage of San Diego Comic-Con. Specifically, Marvel is, at least. They are, since I guess maybe they're evolving with the times, but also because they're not going to really be doing much with the MCU like they have in years past. I guess this is their way of kind of bringing in some more hype, because Spider-Man 2 is, a big deal, and they know people are going to tune in specifically for that, primarily for that. I'm guaranteeing you that right now. So it sounds like Ryan is going to be the plug. We're going to want to tune into his live stream.
Yeah, well, I guess to me that still wasn't entirely clear that the panels themselves would be streamed. So we'll see. I mean, that would be a huge deviation from San Diego Comic-Con's like normal, rules, basically.
I mean, they did. Well, I mean, we'll see exactly, but they
Yeah.
did say don't miss anything from the Marvel stage and events around SDC.
Well, right. What would normally happen is they would like film a clip from it or something and show like certain portions during their live streams. But we'll see. I'm not gonna argue about it. You know what I mean?
I'll tune into the stream, see what's going on, and if it, hopefully we get some clarity later. But if not, then we'll tune in to the live stream. We'll see what's happening. If they're not, if the 5:30 Eastern rolls around and they're not showing Spider-Man 2, then I'll just switch over to Twitter.
Yeah, it's years of bitching about it from me. Like
they may have finally done it, because I don't think they did this last year with Ryan Penagos.
He's always there. I mean,
but did they do something like, oh, I'm live streaming and we're doing all this stuff?
They usually so Marvel does live streams like from at least San Diego and New York Comic-Con every year, and like they'll have like a special section of their booth. And obviously they haven't done it as much in the last few years, but they'll have like a special place where people will go, and they'll have like writers come in, and Ryan does it, Josh does it. There's a couple other people.
Right.
I think I've met Josh. But yeah, it's they've definitely they definitely have streamed from the events before, but it's not like the actual panels usually. It's usually like stuff around the booths, because the booths are usually pretty big.
So usually just in that particular booth. So it might just be in that particular booth, but they also said they're going to have literally members of the team roaming around the entire thing for the panels. So yeah.
I mean, I honestly I hope so, because I think it's unfair. I feel like, listen, San Diego Comic-Con is really hard to get into, and it's not practical for like everybody can't go.
For sure.
And like we're talking about like these really huge events that like everybody wants to be a part of, everybody wants to see, everybody wants that information. And it just drives me nuts, because like I've been like PAX East, okay? So PAX East and PAX Prime, they will let you stream your panels. And I think about when Gearbox at one of the last PAX East I went to, Gearbox did a big panel.
Right.
And they were showing off and that's where Tales from the Borderlands got unveiled.
Mm-hmm.
And like, people that aren't there are able to watch that live. And I feel like that's the way it should be, because it's like everybody was there. We got our experience. We got to see things, and they gave us stuff as we walked out, and that's what you get. That's because people are like, oh, it'll take away from the people that are there's experience if everybody can watch it. No, it doesn't, because the people that are there get to walk up and possibly meet the actors, and there's usually goodies that they give out, that's also your experience.
And also that's a completely stupid justification that doesn't apply anywhere else. Like that, by that logic, then a comedy special or a concert or a award show should never be televised. What are we talking about here?
Yeah. And they're missing revenue opportunity, because like I'll bet if they like had a premium package where you could like pay $5 to watch you watch Comic-Con day one, $5, or for $15 watch all 4 days. You know what I mean? I bet people would buy that.
Legitimately, yeah. If they're such sticklers for exclusivity, you can literally just buy. Okay, we'll film it, we'll stream it, but you have to pay for it. Like literally, the NBA does this for summer league. Like you have league pass, so you can see the games all year round. Or if you want to watch summer league, there are packages you can get for NBA league pass where you can get a little summer league, get a few games here, get games there. Literally, NBA 2K. If you pre-order 2K24, they'll give you a year of league pass. There's so many ways Marvel can monetize this. I mean, they're already monetized. We saw in the article they plug Marvel Unlimited. Like, why wouldn't you try to make a little money off of Comic-Con? Just stream. I mean, they could obviously just be chill about it and just upload it, just do a live stream on their own YouTube channel and on website and take the revenue from that. But yeah, you could definitely charge people for and have them funnel them to a specific website with ads for Marvel's Unlimited and be like, yeah, you want to watch all of our panels on Comic-Con? Here you go, $5 for all the days. You get all the Comic-Con that you want. Like, and I happily pay it even if I'm literally just watching it for that 1 hour of Marvel Spider-Man 2, because I know for a fact $5 I'm gonna make way more than that on the stream of me covering it. So I'm fine with that.
Let me tell you, getting tagged in brand tweets is a blessing and a curse. Some of the stuff that I've seen today is fucking yikes.
Oh boy.
Somebody's having a meltdown right now in my mentions
over Armored Core.
Yeah. Veteran fans, you don't even know who your veteran fans are. You left out people like TM Raven, myself, and multiple other veteran fans that supported this franchise for decades and invited nobodies to report on a game they don't know anything about.
Myself, I'm guessing he's a failed content creator.
419 Twitter followers
that covers Armored Core.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and they're all complaining about Alana Pierce, who is also in the video. Who I'm sure you must know who Alana Pierce is, and if you don't, off the top of your head, you've definitely seen her tweets.
I've definitely probably not, but I've heard her. I've heard of her because I made some concept art for Gwen Stacy in Spider-Man and Spider-Man 2, and people kept saying, "Hey, it looks like Alana Pierce."
Yeah, she's got like over 500,000 followers, and she's pretty huge, and she was there too in the video, and like people are like, "Oh, I bet she's never even played Armored Core."
I've heard that complaint before, like when they're doing premieres for like a show or a movie or something, they'll have like, and here are the influencers who got flown out to go do red carpet and stuff, and they'll be like, what? Like there was something like that for No Way Home. It's like, what? Where these influencers get the gill? They're not even fans. They don't even know how to do the Bully McGuire dance. It should have been me and my 10 followers. Like, bro, you know how this works. This is marketing. They want influencers to go because influencers are well known and it's free advertising for them.
And I'm annoyed because like I'm being very good today. I've not responded to any of it. And I want to respond to this person and say, well, you could have flown yourself there like I did. Wait, but you weren't invited to the event. They didn't invite me. I was there. They asked me if I wanted to do it, and I said, sure, why not? Cry about it.
So basically, if this person and if this hardcore fan had just gone to this event that anyone could have gone to, he may have had the opportunity.
No, not anybody could have gone to. You had to be invited to the greater event.
Oh, but he could have been he could have been there, just not invited there.
I mean, you could have gone to Summer Game Fest, like the show that we watched on stream, but play days, like you had to have a pass.
Yeah. Well, he should have got more followers.
Yeah. And I wasn't, I was not invited by any of the studios. I was invited by Summer Game Fest, and that's how I got to be there. And then when they saw the list, they started asking people, hey, do you want to do this? And I said, sure.
Yeah. All you have to do is just walk over there and watch someone else play a video game.
Trust me. And I know this is a little bit of we can go back to Comic-Con in a second, but trust me, when I was there, like, first of all, I watched it with like Maximilian dude sitting next to me. Okay.
Big deal. I definitely know who that is.
Yeah. So like he's literally sitting next to me during the presentation, and I'm like, wait, they're going to ask me questions about this after. I don't know what I'm going to say. And I didn't realize, like, I knew it was a Bandai Namco game, right, but they're just the publisher. it's actually From Software making it. And I didn't realize that until they started the demo. And then I was like, oh, shit. I don't play their games
at all.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm being asked all these questions. I'm like, I think my answers were fair and reasonable. Yeah, sure. Maybe you could say they're generic, but what are you supposed to say? Like, there isn't much else you could say. I just gave answers that would be fun. That
your whole comment, your soundbite about dying on the title screen was pretty great. So
yeah, like they asked us how many times are you gonna die. I said all of the times I'm gonna die on the load screen.
Yeah, that's
like
yeah. I'm sure it was better. I'm sure it was much better than what that random on Twitter would have answered. Oh, I'm not gonna die. I'm a hardcore gamer. I'm not gonna die.
Well, that's what one of the people after me was like. Oh, I'm a legendary gamer. I'm not gonna die. Like, no, I played into it. Like, I thought it was funny. I wanted to give a fun answer. Like,
yeah, and that's
why I was there.
Yeah, that's why they pay you the big bucks in bags of money.
Anyway, sorry, I saw that and I was like, wow, what a sad guy.
A lot of those on the internet.
Yeah, but
these days.
Back to, and I actually got an email asking me if I was going to be. Oh no, never mind. That was Evo. Okay.
So many people want some of the shot glass.
Dude, I'm so sad I'm not going to San Diego Comic-Con or Evo because I know there's opportunities there that I can't discuss, and I would love to do them, but it's just not in the cards. And like, honestly, I'm mostly looking forward to our cruise because it's my mom's dream. Like, she's always wanted to go on a cruise, and I think
it's a cruise. Like, who would want to go on I've always wanted to go on a cruise. I've seen movies and stuff.
I think it'll just be nice to get away from everything. And I've the only other country I've ever been to is Canada, and that barely counts. So, and I know I'm not expecting Bermuda to be anything too that much different, but still, it'll be nice to go to Bermuda and see
the triangle and the lost city of Atlantis.
I guess they have rum factories, so probably have to do that. Unfortunately, lots of seafood. Don't like seafood.
That's one of the main reasons I want to go. Like, I watch these movies and yeah, they have the parties and whatever have you. But I always love where they have this. They always have the seafood buffet. Every movie or show with a cruise has to have the seafood buffet, and I always just kind of dreamed about just going on the cruise, hanging out, taking in the seafood buffet, all that crap, all that delicious crab. Maybe meet a nice lady on the dance floor. It's one thing, Lisa another.
Yeah.
We share seafood together.
It's unfortunate, but I don't think I would have been able to go to San Diego Comic-Con anyway. Like, by the time you find out, hey, I need to be at San Diego Comic-Con, it's already too late to get in. First of all, buying tickets, impossible. I've tried it before. It is it's a hassle, and it definitely, the people that are already set up and have already gone before are at an advantage, because you have to create a special account, and you have to create the account by a certain day, but that day is months before they actually go on sale. And it's a hassle.
That sounds like a lot.
And I've never gotten to the point where I'm applied for media passes for it. Probably could get them. I don't know, but
I'm sure you could.
But Evo is the same weekend as Boston Fan Expo, and Stephen Amell is there.
Ooh.
So I definitely
love me some Stephen Amell.
Yeah, and I know I just met him back in November, but I just met Manu Bennett and had him sign.
There's never too many times where you can meet Stephen Amell, in my opinion.
Well, I had him sign half of a 2-pack of Arrow and Deathstroke, so now I got to get the other side signed. So
maybe he'll remember you.
Maybe, I doubt it. But I am Jay Shockblast, so
you're pretty memorable. Plus, you're famous, so he might be like, "Oh my God, it's Jay Shockblast. What's up, man? Haven't seen you in a while. What's up? Maybe you strike. Maybe go out, have some wine together. Just since it's your second meeting.
I doubt it. But anyway, back to I know we were talking some Spider-Man, and we talked San Diego Comic-Con in general, but we were getting into the fact that everybody's going to be there. They're going to be talking about
Invincible season 2. We just got the announcement that they're going to be finally giving us an update on when Invincible season 2 is happening, and I cannot wait. I love that show.
Venom is going to be it's going to be interesting to see what we've got going on.
What do you think? Like, I personally, I think this is my prediction. I think they're going to show their first of all, Sony's going to make that money, so they're going to announce the custom Spider-Man 2 panels and custom controllers on sale now. Go get them with your pre-order. I think they're going to give us some more story details, specifically about symbiotes and how that combines. So we'll learn whether or not it's going to be like a Web of Shadow situation. I don't think they're going to tell us who Venom is, but I think they're going to show us new footage. Specifically, I think we're going to get gameplay, and I think we're also going to get the deluxe edition trailer that they mentioned, where they basically they did a similar trailer for Spider-Man PS4, where they basically just had a cool CG trailer, and then they had the characters switch through different suits. So I think they're going to do that for the deluxe edition. They're going to launch that, and they're going to probably do some Q&A with the panel, and talk about some stuff from here. We're going to hear from different voice actors, and I think Najee Jeter and Tony Todd are going to say something they should not have, and it's going to give us some extra content, and I can't wait.
Yeah, I'm very, very interested. I think it's the 21st. That's the day I get back.
20th.
Oh, the 20th.
You might. I think you'll still be on the boat.
Is that on Friday?
Thursday.
Oh, okay, Thursday. Yeah, we get back on Friday. So, all right. Well, I'll be watching. I guess you'll
be watching me. Watch it.
Yeah. Yeah. I. There's just no way they're not doing controllers and side plates.
Absolutely.
Like you can't tell me. Didn't the God of War controllers sell out like instantly?
Yes.
Okay. So you're telling me that you're not going to have a Spider-Man controller, another Spider-Man controller, and a Venom controller. You're telling me there's not going to be 3 separate controllers.
Exactly.
Both Spiders and Venom. They will sell like hotcakes. People will buy all 3 of them. I know, because I'll be one of them.
I'm 100%. I'm 100%. Like I'm sorry, if I'm streaming this, and I see them announce that those controllers are live, I'm going to tab over, go to PlayStation Direct, and I'm buying that fucking Venom controller immediately.
Yeah. And the side plates, I just don't understand. They can't cost that much to make. Their markup on those must be massive, they're plastic plates, it's not that complicated.
It really is like we don't that's why I think it has to be. It'll probably if you're gonna do it, why not announce it at Comic-Con? But it's perfect, especially this is going to be an hour-long panel, so you got to do something. I don't think this is going to be like Starfield.
I do hope you can get the controllers in store though. I hope that's not another only PlayStation Direct.
Yeah. Oh God, no, that'd be
because terrible. That's something I would walk right into my GameStop. We get home from the cruise, and I would get right in the car and go right to GameStop and be like, "All right, here, let's throw it down, 1 each."
Yeah, I hope Sony knows not to do that, but who knows? But I believe in the past, controllers were sold everywhere.
Yeah,
in retailers, so it shouldn't be an issue this time around. I don't think they'll
the side plates might be online only, but I can't imagine the controller.
Yeah. I'm sure you'll be able to walk in the store, or at the very least go to Amazon.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, we'll have the internet package, and there's actually a Funko Pop that I like. I really want. I actually just recently got this one. My hot rod.
How do you have room?
I don't.
Where do you?
That's why I had to move a bunch of things to even get to it. But that one was like a very special one. Hot Rod's my favorite Transformer, and it's the only version they have, and it was an NFT. So Funko does these really weird things where they sell packs of NFTs. They're like baseball cards, but they move and all that. And I don't really understand it, but when these ones came out, I bought 2 packs. I didn't get any of the ones that were redeemable. So in the pack, some of them you'll possibly get a token for one of 6 that you can redeem for an actual Funko Pop. So obviously, time goes by, people redeem them, and they go up on eBay, and that's how I got mine. But they're also doing, literally the day after mine arrived, they announced a 2-pack for San Diego Comic-Con of Rodimus Prime and Galvatron. And Rodimus is not hot. Rodimus is the Prime version of Hot Rod. So it's not quite the same, but it's basically the same. But needless to say, I need to get that. I doubt it'll sell out, but still.
The only Transformer I really cared about was Optimus. I was more of a Beast Wars kid growing up.
Beast Wars aren't real Transformers.
Shut up. Yes, they are. Cheetor for life.
I mean, obviously, Shock Blast is a tie-in between G.I. Joe and Transformers for me. When my brother and I were naming our website back in the day, we were thinking about cool names, and we were thinking, oh, who's your favorite character, for this and this, and we're thinking about like trying to work that in, and I was thinking about it, and Shockwave is one of my favorite G.I. Joes and Transformers, and at one point, like Shockwave Media, it sounds super generic. All right, like it's but they changed both of their names at one point to Shock Blast, and we're like, ooh, that sounds kind of cool.
Yeah.
And actually, the patent on it expired a few years ago. I should patent it.
You should. You should. Why? You've had it for so long. You're a J.
I'm sure that there's like
I'm guessing this was the 90s when you came up with this.
No, this was like when I started, like 2010.
2010. Oh yeah,
because my channel used to be called Shock Blast Media.
Oof.
And then over time, actually the 7-year anniversary of me changing the name was a couple days ago, because it's funny. 8 years ago, I got my 100,000 subscriber plaque, and then literally a year to the day, I changed the name from Shock Blast Media to J Shock Blast. So my 100,000 subscriber plaque says Shock Blast Media on it.
So you basically just like the social network. Don't call it the Facebook, just Facebook. Yeah. just Shock Blast.
Yeah. Now I just gotta get people to stop capitalizing the B.
Yeah, that's a losing battle.
Yeah, I gave up on it. I used to like correct people, and now I'm like, whatever.
Who the hell you even think you are? You're not Spider-Man.
I was in an Armored Core video.
Yes, Spider-Man has the clout to demand that you capitalize both the S and the M and include the hyphen.
The hyphen.
You don't have that clout yet. Yeah. It's just more convenient because it's like you do the J and then it's like lowercase Shock, but then you have to put the uppercase Black. It's like who has time for that, Jay? It's 2023. There's AI, there's war, Ukraine, and
I figured I was saving him one extra click.
Like there's so much going on in the world, Jay. Who has time to remember to capitalize the B in your name?
I don't. One less click, one less shift.
Yeah, I legitimately just reflexively I just do all lowercase. just J Shock. I do have autofill on my phone, but I don't think it always does the B.
Yeah, that's dangerous too.
Well, yours may be dangerous. I live a healthy Christian life, so my autofills are perfectly wholesome at all times.
I'm just mad because I heard that Apple was going to change it so that fuck no longer autocorrects the duck, and that has not happened yet.
Unfortunately, I'll let it fly. I don't even curse that much in text. Wait for Sadat to hit 50K subscribers and change his tag to Sadat Shot Blast. Well, now why would I give Jay the credit after I hit that amazing, incredible milestone?
Because I did it first and better and longer ago.
We know, Boomer, you're old. We get it. I'm the new guy in town. But yeah, definitely appreciate everyone. We're literally like less than 2,000 subscribers away. It's pretty crazy to think of. I know you don't get a plaque for 50K, but I feel like you should. Like you're halfway to 100K.
It's usually quicker to go from 50 to 100 than it is 1 to 50.
Is it? I hope so.
Yeah. Well, you're at that spot where like it just like as long as you keep rolling with the same type of thing, it's just gonna keep going because you're like there is a way to like supercharge yourself in the algorithm, and you're in there right now, so it just like happens.
There you have it from YouTube expert Jay Shockwest. 10 years in the biz.
Because that's what happened for me. Actually, 13. Like I always got like a steady flow and everything,
right?
But then like Lego Marvel came out and it just went boom, because like everything was like hitting, and then that was such a great time because not only did I put everything out on 360, and then like 2 months later they re-released it on Xbox One. So I did all of it all over again. So those videos were already generating a lot of traffic, and then I went right into the Xbox One version, and that just kept it going, and then it just was like bam, 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 bam.
Yeah, I had a weird trajectory, but definitely I can kind of get what you mean with that, because like when I started and just immediately went boom on my first video, and then got into the partner program a month later, and then from there it was just kind of like a steady climb with Avengers. Even though despite it being Avengers, there was still like steady growth, and then I started expanding the Gotham Knights when that started coming out, and then that was just like a huge then YouTube took my monetization away for a month, and then I came back for 2023, and that was just like a steady, just like a small, then it started exploding again with Spider-Man 2. And now I'm just kind of like in kind of a groove, having the time of my life right now.
Yeah, I've just been doing so much that that isn't in my wheelhouse, and that isn't really what I'm known for. But like, it's nice to know that like I can just have a one-off Lego Star Wars video, and it'll get some trickle views in and stuff like that.
Yeah. It's weird. Fortunately, YouTube prefers it if you just do the one thing, or stay within a specific niche.
Yeah, my niche is video games, and they need to just understand that.
Yeah, unfortunately, they don't unless you're, the Rad Brad.
Yeah. Well, I think the thing that kills me is like you can look at your stats and everything, and it's like, okay, how many notifications went out, right? I have like 56,000 people that have the bell clicked, and that's supposed to mean you get all notifications, but like not even a fifth of those people actually get the notifications. And it's like, it's weird. And then like you think the notifications are so important, but then I look and it's like, oh, there's only 22 clicks off of that 11,000.
You're not at all. But what is surprisingly important now, which I've been taking advantage of for a while because a lot of YouTubers haven't caught on to it yet, is the channel pages. I started playing with it a while ago and started noticing it made impact. So I kind of went all in on it after I got a tip about utilizing channel pages, and I just recently noticed like well, it's definitely increased lately, but for sure I get a pretty substantial amount of views from posting to my community tab and subscribers off of those posts. And I noticed yesterday when I went to my YouTube home screen, I saw Lejeune had posted something in his community tab, and it appeared on the home screen where the videos usually are for recommended. So it looks like YouTube themselves is specifically starting to push channel community posts more and more, because before I would see other people that have not subscribed to his community posts just by scrolling through the app, through search or whatever. That's how I knew this was something that I definitely wanted to be in on. But now it's popping up on recommended. So definitely, if you're a YouTuber, definitely recommend diving into community posts and taking advantage of that, like I've been doing. It definitely works. You can definitely.
So when you post the video, you also post it to your community tab?
Yeah. So yeah, the way I time my stuff now when I do an upload, I make it a premiere, but I set it so that it's like 30 minutes out from. So like if I'm premiering, if I want to premiere it at 10 at I usually don't do the default time, so I'll be like, okay, I'll premiere it at 10:30. I'll set the premiere at 10:35, but I'll do it at like 10 o'clock. So the premiere happened, people start coming in for the chat. I'll start commenting, we'll back and forth, because premieres boost your video, because all those chat messages count as engagement that will boost the video more and more, and then naturally they boost premieres the closer you get to the launch time. They do that for live streams as well. So then when the premiere officially starts, I go to my channel. Go to my customization tab. I make the video my channel trailer, and then I post a community photo of an image post with the headline and the link to the video, and then at the same time I post a poll with the headline and link, and have like a relevant poll related to the topic. And that's like my process for every time I do an upload, to like kind of maximize engagement.
Yeah, I don't use the community tab as much as I should, but they have made it easier to post to the community tab.
I was checking the analytics of one of my previous uploads over the last few days, and 10,000 of the views came specifically from the community tab. It lists it as channel page views.
Interesting.
So it's definitely something to look into. What's up? We got Cap Tay just popped in. Now the crew's almost all here. Appreciate y'all. The defenders are assembling. Talking some YouTube shop, but yeah, I'm for sure hoping that I've been connecting, trying to find some Sony connects, because that's going to be the best way that I could tell to get a review copy of Marvel Spider-Man 2.
Yeah,
you got to go through.
I think you have to go through Sony PR.
Yeah, Sony PR, because I sent them a message to try to get an interview. Haven't heard back yet, but I definitely I think I did the generic Sony PR email, so I got to find like an individual. I found a few individuals, so I got to reach out to people on a personal level and try to connect with some people at Sony PR, because I want to get someone from Insomniac to possibly do the podcast, and I definitely want to review copy bare minimum of Spider-Man 2 for both of us, because I know that's going to be huge for anyone that's covering it.
Yeah. I lost my train of thought.
That's the perks. One of the downsides of being old. We also I'm thinking, what else is going to be at Comic-Con? I feel like it's mainly going to be about Spider-Man 2, but and the whole symbiotic relationship thing.
I think Mortal Kombat's going to be there.
Ed Boon, I think directly. I mean, pretty much spelled it out. I think I saw a tweet from Ed Boon about see you at San Diego Comic-Con or something.
Yeah.
So yeah, Mortal Kombat 1's going to be there. We know Spider-Man 2 is going to have that big panel.
Well,
on
they're
Thursday.
having a panel at San Diego Comic-Con. Join Ed Boon, Yuri Lowenthal, Smoke, confirmed.
Yuri's gonna be a busy boy.
Yeah, I think about it. He's gonna within a week or two of each other. He's gonna be in probably two of the biggest games of the year.
Yeah,
because Mortal Kombat's on the 19th of September, and then Spider-Man. All right, so within a month of each other.
Yeah, October 20th.
Yeah,
Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, he'll be in Spider-Man 2, and then he's gonna be Smoke in Mortal Kombat 1. They just revealed Smoke in their stream the other day, and he looks dope, and he looks like he's gonna be a big part of the story.
That's
so
cool. I'm a fan of the Smoke.
Yeah, well, it looks like they're gonna have. What I'm really looking forward to is it looks like the ninjas are gonna be a big part of everything.
Ooh, is Yuri for Smoke? Is Yuri using his Sasuke voice or what? What are we doing here?
I don't even know what the fudge Sasuke is.
Oh my god, you're so uncultured. Holy fuck. Jesus.
It's it's Dragon Ball, right?
Yeah, no.
The other one.
I guess there's no point in me bringing up the fact that Jujutsu Kaisen season 2 is starting this weekend.
I only know that it's like an anime character because somebody mentioned it during the stream. I don't know. Yeah. I didn't realize it was Yuri at first, but I saw Caboose notice it right away. So
you don't know.
I'm hearing impaired.
Sasuke.
Don't
you don't know Sasuke?
No, don't shame me. Don't don't shame
that
my
deserves
disability.
Shaming. That deserves shaming.
Don't shame my disability.
You don't know Sasuke, bruh. Come on.
I'm listen. I'm a Camp Lejeune lawsuit away because of my hearing loss from knowing who Sasuke is. Okay.
Come on. There's no excuse. Blind, deaf. You should know who Sasuke is.
Naruto. He's in Naruto.
Jesus Christ.
Now I'm trolling.
Tony Todd is very famous for his portrayal in the horror classic the Candyman.
I've met Tony Todd as well.
Of course you did. We definitely got to get him on the pod because I know he's going to spoil something that he's about Spider-Man 2. He's not supposed to.
I'm pretty sure that he's been muzzled.
Feels like it because I definitely reached out to him because he follows me. I was like, let me see if we get something going. He was, nah, because he definitely hasn't been tweeting. He tweets a lot, but not about Spider-Man 2 anymore. He's I'm thinking Sony. Somebody at Sony was like, hey man, you can't be doing this. It's one thing when Jeff Grubb does it, but we can't add that. you gotta cut this out.
Oh man, 2007. Hold on, present.
Yeah, for the people who are cultured, definitely go check out Jujutsu Kaisen season 2. I'm going to be. I have an anime day every week. I designate Sunday as my anime day, where I usually watch anime at any time, but specifically I mark Sunday as a day where I give myself the time to just chill and watch anime and don't do much. That's my day of rest, watching anime and eating junk food. And then I'm back on the grind for the rest of the week. That's how it does it. But Comic-Con, I'm also hoping that we get some other superhero game announcements because it is Comic-Con. Marvel, we know Marvel's going to be there. There's another famous comic book company that also should be at Comic-Con at the very least, besides Invincible, and that's DC. So a lot of stuff is obviously being affected by the writer's strike, but DC does have several video games in the works that we can hopefully get an announcement for. Jay Shaft West did all that just so he can flex with his photo of Tony Todd that he took.
Yeah, that was it. All that just for that.
All right. Congratulations. Bravo. Well done.
I was a young Tony Todd.
Young? Okay.
I mean, it was like 15 years ago. I'm pretty sure I met him like a bunch of times. There was this like horror convention because he was the Candyman.
Yes, he was.
But there was like
say it 2 more times.
Candyman.
It'd be fun. It'd be funny if his like stream cut out.
Oh my god, is this? Hold on, I think I have a picture of my brother with him. Actually, I can't tell if that's him.
Can't tell if that's your brother.
Yeah, I have never seen my brother before. Hold
on.
So. Hold on. I think this is my brother with him.
Imagine not being sure what your brother looks like.
No, I think that's Tony Todd, right?
Hope he sees this. That doesn't look like Tony Todd, bro. That looks like a very different black man.
Who the hell would it be?
I have no idea who that is. That's
I don't know.
That's not Tony Todd.
that was the year that I met what's his face that died? One of the two. Ah, damn it. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Oh no, it definitely was not Tony Todd because there's another picture.
Because he doesn't look like Tony Todd.
Well, I did say I didn't think it was him.
I thought you were talking about your brother. That clearly is not Tony Todd.
I know what my brother looks like.
You don't know what Tony Todd looks like? You just showed him in another picture.
I know. That's why I said I wasn't sure if it was him.
You had another picture to compare it to. They look nothing alike.
I agree. It was Brooks. Dang it. It was from Lost. They were in Lost Boys. The Coreys. Corey Haim.
Jay's brother was some random person. Literally, it might be a random person. I have no idea. Maybe he thought it was Tony Todd. I don't know. Jesus, bro.
No, this is a really cool picture that I took right here at that event. Not Tony Todd, Corey Haim, and both of these guys died actually. They're from Lost Boys. But like, remember, like back in the 80s, the two Coreys were like massive megastars.
Oh yeah, then the evils of Hollywood got to them.
Well, I'm sure if I send that picture to my brother, he'll know who it is.
I would hope so.
I'm gonna send him a picture. Who the fuck is this? I know, Capte. I deserve that. And I'm sure his answer is gonna be, well, me.
Yeah, that sounds like a shock West brother response. Well, yeah, like I was saying before, you got you mixed up two completely different looking black guys.
All right, I'm gonna raise this and get it over with.
I didn't say it, but you know, if the shoe fits. But I'm hoping that DC that has some video game presence as well as some of the other Marvel games, because we obviously know Marvel Spider-Man 2 is going to be there, and they announced in that article Marvel Snap's going to be there. And there's supposed to be some more surprises and stuff for on that Saturday panel. So I'm hoping maybe we get another look, maybe our first trailer for Iron Man, you know, something more from Iron Man, maybe the official announcement of the Black Panther game, that mysterious third Marvel game. But hopefully that something from DC, maybe a Wonder Woman video game update from Monolith, or WB Games Montreal's secret DC project finally gets revealed. I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that it's Superman. Please let it be Superman. Just
all right. The guy's name was Ken Foree, and he was in Dawn of the Dead and 63 episodes of Kenan and Kel.
Oh, now that's what I recognize it from.
There you go.
He was the father in Kenan and Kel.
Okay, well, there, I did it for the culture for you.
I forgot. I know I vaguely recognize him, but I didn't know from what. Yeah, he was Kenan. He played Kenan's dad in the hit Nickelodeon program Kenan and Kel, which is wow, that brings it back. I know related to Kenan and Kel, they had the Good Burger sketch, and that's getting a sequel finally after all these years.
They're filming it like literally right down the road, like probably like half hour away from me. I keep seeing stuff on the news about it.
Good Burger was it was goofy. Obviously, it's supposed to be a fun, but low key pretty good. Like it holds up, and it's not just for nostalgia reasons. Like it's legitimate. It's legitimately a solid movie. I remember even at the time I was surprised by the quality of the movie. Like, sure, it was the fun, the funny, Keenan and Kel peaking their powers. The Good Burger sketch is great, and we were wondering how it would fit in a live action movie, but surprisingly, yeah, they had some good humor in there, some actual character development. Wonder where that went in Marvel. They didn't deconstruct everybody. Like, it was just it was a fun movie. You had a bad guy to bring down in Mondo Burger. It was actually which actually served as kind of a subtle message to support small businesses against mega conglomerates moving in and cutting corners and having poison stuff in fast food. Like, that was basically the plot. Like a big Walmart type of chain of burger places that were artificially inflating their burgers to make them giant as a gimmick using sketchy chemicals was threatening the small business of Good Burger. and
That's right. Tell Sadat, call him out.
Call me out. What? On what?
I'll put it back on the screen.
Saying Good Burger's good movie is kind of wild. I think it's how dare you? How fucking dare you? You absolute pleb.
I wish we could get the table bang out of that. It's whoa.
It fits because I would be slamming on the table if it wouldn't upset my setup. Like, how dare you? Good Burger is awesome.
Yes, we do not want to mess with your setup. We know that one fist bang on the table might knock you offline for a week.
Yeah, I do. No, just might unplug one of the things, and my camera might cut off temporarily.
Yeah.
But bro, Good Burger, really? How is that not? Like, I'm not saying it's like an Oscar. Well, Oscar doesn't even mean anything, but I'm not saying it's like one of the greatest films of all time. But
it's not BET Awards worthy.
I mean, no, it's definitely BET Awards worthy. I mean, that the BET Awards standards were pretty low from what I remember, but it's definitely a solid family movie. That, unlike a lot of movies from Jay Shockless era, it ages pretty well because it's not filled with racism and homophobia.
My favorite movie is Spaceballs.
I mean,
the greatest movie of all time.
Yeah, well, yeah, I wouldn't say that. I feel
awkward silence.
I feel like you definitely were like a John Hughes kind of guy.
I watched Top Gun a lot, Bloodsport, Transformers the movie, G.I. Joe the movie.
Sounds racist to me.
I mean, G.I. Joe the movie basically had the Village people in it, so I think we're good.
Talk about Good Burger Mystery One. Good Burger saying I always want, like, it kind of looks like In and Out. Like, if you look at the Good Burger in the show, it kind of looked like In and Out, even down to the special sauce that they had.
Eastwood, no, it is not. What? Because the guys in the desert that were combing it, and you get to the black guy with the afro pick, and he's like, "We ain't found shit."
Spaceballs is hilarious movie. Yeah. Well, I mean, if Eastwood is saying it's racist, holy, this is bad.
No,
this guy literally watches Fox News. So if he's saying that movie's racist, holy shit.
No, it was a parody. It was like
holy shit.
Have you not seen Spaceballs?
I haven't seen it in however many long.
Spaceballs is a parody of all the space movies of the 80s. It's like
I haven't watched it in the last 20 years.
Yeah. I haven't watched it in the last 20 weeks.
I think the last parody movie I watched was Spinal Tap, which was a classic and not racist, by the way. And CB4 was great, obviously, as well.
I don't remember that one.
Of course you didn't. That was the Black parody movie with Chris Rock. So of course Jay avoided it.
I saw Rush Hour.
I rest my case. So Spaceballs is a bootleg Star Wars. I don't think that's correct because it's literally meant to be a parody.
Yeah.
So it would actually be making fun of Star Wars. That's like saying like Scary Movie is like a bootleg Scream. Well, no, it's literally just making fun of horror and those movies.
Yeah.
In particular.
Anyway.
True, but especially since Fox News has gotten a bit more liberal lately, it's actually been kind of hilarious watching the conservatives kind of melt down. That Fox News has gotten woke apparently. so there's that. Like everything from my childhood is being destroyed. Like one of the things we could count on was death, taxes, and Fox News being racist. But apparently it's times are changing. Not even Fox News is safe. What has happened to our society, Jay?
I don't know. You get 5 social media clones in 1 week and everything hits the fan.
It's actually hilarious. I actually saw there was a meme of using Dr. Manhattan. It's like everyone collecting all of these Twitter clones and combining into Dr. Manhattan. Dr. Manhattan. Because this happens like every time there's a mild just the mildest of incident at Twitter. Everyone is like, "Oh, time to abandon Twitter."
Yeah,
and some trash Twitter clone pops up, and everyone makes an account and never uses it again.
Blue Sky is already dead.
Literally, like it was it even a day?
Yeah, like 2 days, like a day or two later, we got Threads.
I swear it was like literally one day I saw I even got DMs about asking me if I wanted to invite the Blue Sky, and I'm like, no, I barely tolerate Twitter. I'm not jumping on a bootleg version, but like within a day I started seeing like it flipped like a flip switch. It was all the tweets that were saying, "Hey, follow me on Blue Sky." All of a sudden, they were Threads, and I'm like, "The fuck is Threads?"
I hate like Threads drives me nuts because like my feed is nothing but people I don't follow and would never follow. Like
even
Threads,
if you follow people, it doesn't show you. It doesn't show you their stuff.
No, like it shows you whatever it wants to show you, and like not even in chronological order. It just like throws a bunch of random bullshit, and like maybe 1 out of every 10 persons is somebody you actually follow. It's been interesting though, because like for the like 2 days that I was using Blue Sky a little bit here and there, like I'm not really going hardcore into any of them. I'm just mostly signing up so that I can have my username in case it does take off, because I've had too many incidents where people will take my a wild Thor appears. I've had too many incidents where people will take my name. So essentially, Blue Sky, like I was having actual people that don't follow me on Twitter follow me there. Like Aaron from Insomniac even like retweeted me on like Threads, like it's or whatever you call it on a thread, like a re-thread.
It might be a retweet because apparently Elon Musk is suing them and for specifically because apparently Zuck hired former Twitter staff and are using proprietary information that they're not allowed to use to build threads.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what he expected, but I'm sure there is some kind of a clause where you can't like, because I know like when you sell a company, a lot of times there's a clause where you can't like start an identical company like within an X amount of time. And I'm sure there's something like that in their contracts. But yeah, like that honestly, if Threads would just let me like if they had a for you section and your timeline, it's actually really good. Still putting it together, but like it works pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm not making a Threads.
Yeah, but like the bigger issue though is that like I hate I don't go on it because I hate the feed. It's never like, it's not only like I'm getting like AOC like threads. Okay. I don't care about AOC. I would never follow her. I don't like, and I would say the same thing about like, I don't know, pick a conservative,
Ted Cruz.
Yeah. If I had Ted Cruz threads, I would be feeling the same kind of way. You know what I mean? It's just like, all right, I'll open it right now. The first thread that I have, all right, is actually somebody I follow, David Nakayama. Then it's Juice World.
Oh, you're not a big Juice World fan?
No, then it's Comics Queen, and then Kat Dennings, which I don't mind.
Yeah, for two very big reasons.
Sam Spratt, World Star.
World Star.
Yeah, I mean, I get that. Generic Live, Toy Shiz, two from that person.
It sounds like the feed is basically just an ad for
Pokemon.
Pokemon. I know you're a huge Poke fan.
World Star again.
World Star.
Leonhardt. Like, it's all the same people. The Lakers.
No, you're a big Laker fan.
Yeah. Gaming Bible. Bellator MMA. Like, I wouldn't follow these. Dana White. I do follow Dana White, but I don't follow him here. So yeah, it's like all these Pokemon again. Like, I've got 4 Pokemon threads before I even see another one from somebody I actually follow.
I mean, she's probably saying something important. What you gotta
doubt it.
You gotta stay up with the culture,
seriously doubt it. She's probably complaining about the patriarchy. No, you said that only you get to say that.
That's correct. Only I have that black privilege of implying that Jay's racist. not
I
you.
know what World Star is.
Everyone knows World Star.
I don't know. I know that Juice World is a rapper.
He was a rapper. Yes,
a rapper.
He died.
Oh, okay.
As many rappers do.
Yeah. I remember the morning Tupac died.
I bet you do.
Watched it on MTV News. I cried a little bit.
I don't actually remember when Tupac died, even though I was alive, because I was extremely young. But I do remember when Aaliyah died. I cried.
I remember that.
I cried for that one. I was old enough.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, I've been thinking about it though, like about like social media in general, right? I was a Tupac guy personally. I like both Tupac and Biggie, but Tupac I would definitely say is my favorite rapper of all time.
Pretty normie take, but acceptable.
I think about like what life was like before all this social media. You know what I mean? Like,
definitely,
there are people
definitely better. In a lot of ways.
Like, it's crazy. I've made a pretty good life for myself off the internet.
Same.
Because before I did YouTube, I did concert photography, and even though I didn't make a lot of money off the photography, I got to meet and interview and go to concerts for so many of my favorite bands. And like, that was a great hobby to have, that like, at least, not having to, I'd never really had to buy tickets to go to the shows. I had the best seat in the house, and I got to meet the band, you know what I mean? So I've done pretty well, but I would honestly throw it, like, I feel like the world without this social media would be so much better. Because I feel like we had gone, like, even though, like, a lot of it's out of sight, out of mind. So, like, yeah, this stuff was happening and nobody knew about it. Does that make it better? No. But, like, I feel like people were happier, I
feel like we should keep YouTube.
Yeah.
Bring back MySpace, destroy Twitter and Instagram and everything else.
Well, that's the thing. I actually love Twitter. Back when it was like, I honestly started my Twitter like just so I could like follow all the sports writers and keep up with what was going on, and it's crazy that like how it's all turned into. And what I have actually seen though is that Threads is like, they understand that the politics is coming, but they're trying to keep it off. Like, they're trying to keep everything like good vibes only. We'll see how that goes.
Not going to go well.
There's one like I saw there's one person that's like already having a meltdown because they've had like a few of the threads deleted for being overly political, like a far leftist type person.
Oh no.
And they're like losing their crap over it, you know. And even the AOC tweets that like were in my feed were not political. They were just her responding to like pop culture-y type stuff. So
those are the vibes, and they're trying to avoid the messy politics of
and
Twitter.
I think that's great. And like I've actively tried to like remove the politics from my Twitter feed because like I just like nothing good can come from it.
Very, very true. I, for one, am definitely tired of seeing politics on my Twitter feed. I'd much rather have rap debates on my Twitter feed or any of my social media feeds, Mr.
Well, it's funny because we were talking about that last week, how like the Cash Money stuff started like popped up on my feed during the Juvenile song.
Oh
and
yeah,
like
the Tiny Desk one.
Yeah, I agree. I'd so much rather like that type of stuff, you know, be more prevalent, if you will, you know.
Yeah, for sure. Especially yeah, because when I was growing up, I knew about Pac and Biggie, but I mainly listened to like Bone Thugs and Harmony, Lauryn Hill and the Fugees, and Run DMC. And like once I actually moved out the hood and got to suburbs, that's ironically when I started getting more into other rap like Jay-Z and Biggie, and I ended up listening more heavily to both as I got older and actually became a rapper and started listening to more and more. And I like Tupac's, I guess I like Tupac's vibe and like the idea of, you know, his more positive, uplifting stuff. But I thought objectively Biggie was the better rapper.
I enjoyed them both. I really did. I
thought they were both great at what they did, but just purely listening to them both like side by side, comparing them as rappers, I thought Biggie was just clearly better.
Yeah,
like better flow, better lyricist, but he had less range on his music. Like if you listen to a Biggie song, you know he was going to talk about how much money he has, the women he was sleeping with, somebody was probably going to get shot. He might say something sus every once in a while, but that's pretty much the extent of what you were getting from a Biggie song. Whereas Tupac, you know, he'd do the gangster stuff, he would do the party stuff, but he also, you know, you had his Dear Mamas and you keep your head up type of deal. So
I really
appreciate I appreciate his versatility.
I really loved the first Tupac album they put out after he died, but they did it under like Machiavelli. I don't know if you ever heard.
I listened to a couple of those post. There was so many post Tupac death albums, but I remember the one that I didn't particularly like that many of them, but I remember the one particular one that I still have on my Spotify playlist because it's one of my favorite songs. Period. They did one which is a pretty unlikely collab, but Elton John, Tupac, Dying to Live surprisingly gas.
Another thing that's gonna make this is gonna make me sound old. I remember the second Wu-Tang album when that came out. It was like a double album, and it was the first ever enhanced CD where like you could put the CD in your computer hard drive, and it had basically what was a website on the CD that had like all these extra videos and like different interactive things. That was like a big deal back then.
Even back then, money bags.
Yeah, Wu-Tang forever, right? Yeah. Reunited, double LP, world excited.
Did he really just say Dre is better than Biggie? Dre who? What do you mean? What? Dre who? Dr. Dre? Not Dr. Dre. Is there another Dre that is he trying? Unless Dre, the Dre in that sentence is a weird abbreviation for Andre 3000, that is a blasphemous statement that you should take back immediately. Dr. Dre, 1, is not a good rapper. 2, is literally not a rapper. He is a producer. All his raps were written by other rappers. So he's not even in the conversation of best rapper because he doesn't even write his own raps. He's a producer. Like, how dare you? Also, none of his ghostwriters, his only ghostwriter that could even be in the same conversation as Pac and Biggie is Eminem. Like Ice Cube wrote a bunch. Ice Cube would write a bunch of stuff. He's had all sorts of ghostwriters over the years. Him himself is not a rapper. He can't rap at all. How dare you?
I liked Ice Cube a lot.
Ice Cube was great.
I love the Wu-Tang Clan too, though. I was always a big Ghostface Killah fan. He was like my favorite member.
He definitely had the I like this whole swag, this whole vibe.
His like solo albums were like very different.
Yeah, I was more in terms of groups. Yeah, Bone Thugs is one of my favorite groups, and then as I got older, I got more into like Outkast, and I remember because I didn't listen to too many groups, but after that, I listened to like Outkast, Little Wu-Tang, obviously love the Fugees, one of my favorite groups of all time. A little bit of D12. And I love Slaughterhouse. Joe Budden, Slaughterhouse. It was like Royce. It was like Royce the 5'9". A bunch of great lyricists came together.
Back when I did Analog Hype, like those guys, because like rap and hip hop was a big thing. Those guys freaking loved Joe Budden. Like they were like obsessed with him.
Joe Budden was. I know it's become a meme and fun to kind of like make fun of Joe Budden, but. His mixtapes are crazy. Like it sucks he only became like a one-hit wonder as a mainstream artist, but I mean Pump It Up was great. It was fun for the clubs, but his mixtapes were amazing. It's crazy he couldn't put it together.
There was somebody else who always talk about that like never put out actual albums. Is that who it was? I can't remember.
There was kind of a lot of rappers like I grew up like that, especially that I gravitate to like that, or like they would have mainly success in the mixtape circuit, but it didn't really translate like that. That happened with a lot of Philly rappers that I like grew up with. Like there was like this whole like there was a point where it was like, you know, Joey Jahad, Reed Dollaz, and Meek Mill were all like in the same tier in terms of like underground rappers, but all of them kind of just did the thing was like you would rap in front of a camera with no beat, or you like do mixtape stuff, and none of it actually went anywhere. It was just like it was like popping on the internet and everything, but it wasn't like a mainstream success. And Meek Mill had the foresight to find a good producer and make actual songs that people.
You know, I think it's wild that Meek Mill is like really good friends with Bob Kraft. Like that's just wild to me. Like it's always crazy to see like Bob Kraft bringing Meek Mill to a Patriots game, or
that is extremely random. Actually, speaking of Meek Mill, my best friend, it was good friends and made music with the producer that is responsible for Meek Mill blowing up.
Like, you know, a rapper I always liked, and I'm probably like all the credibility I might have just gained is gonna probably get thrown out the window.
Oh no!
I always loved Cannabis. He got in that beef with LL Cool J, but like I don't know. I always thought he was really good.
Oh no, yeah, no, you're fine with that. A lot of people respect Cannabis. Like he was a pretty obviously getting demolished by LL Cool J isn't great, but yeah, he had a lot of credibility in like the underground rap scene in particular. Like he was one of those lyrical rappers, which is always like code for can't make songs for shit. But I appreciated it. Like
he certainly liked to tell everybody how lyrical he was.
Yeah, that's an essential part of rap. Like if you're not talking about how much money you have, the drugs you're taking, the women you're sleeping with, you have to mention all the haters that you have and how superior to all of the other rappers that you are. That's a staple. But I do appreciate good lyricists. That's why Lupe Fiasco is my favorite rapper, because he kind of he's able to do everything. Like, he had the critically acclaimed, incredible underground mixtape stuff, but then he also translated that into like legitimately classic albums and mainstream, hit songs as well. And as a bonus, he, isn't talking about, the drugs and, the women and everything like that. He like spreads positive messages and just kind of does like really great lyricism, kind of old school lyricism, where it's just like you're listening not just for the music and everything, but also trying to decipher the lyrics and get the messages. That's why I really appreciate that and wish there was more like it.
I like Nozzle. I mean, I know that's not like some like crazy thing to say, but I like Nas a lot too, for that reason.
Nas is definitely valid. Definitely has a record. I know when I was in school, I was definitely on the Jay-Z side of the Nas versus Jay-Z beef, but it went at it did put me at odds, because I knew as soon as I heard Ether, I was like, oof. I was like, I love, because I love Jay-Z. He was my favorite between the two. I thought he made better music overall in terms of just being entertaining and everything like that. But when I heard, I was like, oof.
I feel like Jay-Z kind of got big as I transitioned out of listening to lots of rap. Because like there got to a point where I was in high school that like basically when I started driving, I started phasing a little bit out, because like the friends I would drive back and forth to school listen to, rock and metal and stuff like that, and they would switch the radio, and I was like, whatever. And I enjoyed, like, we had like, I'm sure you've heard of Opie and Anthony. Like, they were
it's hilarious that you mentioned Opie and Anthony.
Oh, okay.
When I was working, before I became a professional internet person, I was working in a warehouse, and it was in a clothing store. It was a family-owned clothing business. They had two chains, and we were working in.
They had two chains.
Two chains. They had two. It was a chain of literally just two stores, and we were working in the warehouse. They had this idea of creating an eBay store. In the form of, they basically just boarded up part of the warehouse of their existing clothing stores, set up some computer stations, and said, "Here, list these old shit on eBay, and we'll sell it, and that'll be our eBay store." So my job was to just go in the warehouse, grab the stuff they were going to list. I have to scan and input all the information and put it in the bin, bag it, tag it, so that it gets shipped off. That's pretty much what I did all day. And as you can tell, that's boring as shit. So fortunately, because we had a computer, we were able to listen to the internet, and people had their phones and everything like that. So what I would do, when I got tired of Spotify, I just tabbed over to YouTube and would just try to find something to listen to. And I was like, let me find, like, I like comedy, so I was like, let me see if there's like a comedy album like Bill Burr or Louis C.K. Doing something, and I saw it pop up like there's like a 2-hour show where Louis C.K. was a guest on something called Opie and Anthony. So I was like, oh, that's 2 hours, perfect. Throw that on, and I just listened, and it was just something to have in the background, and I was crying laughing for 2 straight hours. Everyone was looking at me like, bro, what's going on over here? I'm just dying.
Yeah.
So
Opie and Anthony are from Boston, and at the time in the 90s, they were a local team on WAAF in Boston.
Yep, I remember.
And they got fired
because of the Sex with Sam incident, right?
I think I don't remember exactly what it was, but they did like a prank that went really wrong.
I think it was the sex. Basically, they had a challenge where like couples would have sex in like odd places, and they one of their fans did it in a place they weren't supposed to, and it had political ramifications.
Yeah, it was probably one of many things, but they got canned, and they went national after that. But like, so you understand, like, that's what we would listen to going into school in the morning. So like, obviously I got sucked in, and then I started like listening to like some of the music, like Seven Dust is my favorite band of all time, and they were breaking back then. Godsmack was just a local band back then, and
man, you're old. Holy shit, you're old.
Yeah. Yeah, like all those bands, like Stained was coming out. They were another local band getting big. So yeah, like
Phil, were you there for the beginning of Phil Collins too?
No. But
Jay heard this. Jay was listening to this underground band that he predicted would go some places called Aerosmith.
No, that's way further back. Yeah. No, I just like that era was awesome, you know. Like, I just think about like people now don't understand what it's like to listen to the radio and wait for your favorite song to come on so that you could record it and then just listen to it whenever you want. Like,
I mean, even I did it. I was in the era of I had radio. I did listen to radio for some points, but I didn't record anything. Like I would buy, if it was an album, I would buy the CD.
Yeah.
And then I very quickly got into the pirate music phase. So I would just download stuff and have everything burned on. And I eventually got an iPod. But yeah, I do remember I remember I got turned on to rock music because I was on a not because it's on a radio, but it was on a road trip. We were a bunch of my friends were going on a trip to New York basically to get laid, and which we did frequently over weekend. We just take trips for that purpose, and one of my friends was like, he had an iPad. He had an iPad. He was like, "Oh, you want to listen to this while on the ride up to New York?" I was like, "Oh, sure. I'll see what you got on here," and I'll just flip it through, and I would just pop in. I popped in on some like Linkin Park and stuff. I was like, "Oh, what the fuck is this?" And I was listening. I was just vibing. I just ended up vibing on the trip, and I just went on this spiral of rock, and it expanded to all sorts of different music. Now my Spotify playlist is all over the place.
Yeah, I was never really big into Linkin Park. I remember they were breaking. I don't know what it was, but like I didn't like think they were bad or anything. I just was never really into them.
It definitely vibed me, probably because it was like a good transition for me because it's because it's got like some rap, because it's like some rap elements to some of their early stuff in particular as well. So I definitely was able to vibe with it more.
I do remember like right around that time, Limp Bizkit was like starting to get big, and something came up the other day that I remember that I almost went to. They did this like guerrilla tour where they were like, "We're gonna go to a city on this one day, and we're not gonna tell you until like 30 minutes before it's gonna start, and we're just gonna be in some random public place, and we're gonna have a concert until it gets shut down." And they did one in Detroit, and I don't think it went well. And then they went to Boston, and we knew it was happening, but I'm like 40 miles from Boston, and I really wanted to just drive in, and see if we could pull it off. They did it across the street from Fenway Park on the roof of a garage. Like, so it was a parking garage that people usually park at. All right. And literally shut down that entire street. It was wild. And like the police showed up and shut it down. Like, they're like, imagine like 2,000 people on the roof of a building. Definitely like they're thinking they were gonna get like 500 people maybe, but like it looked like there was a Red Sox game getting out. The whole street was blocked off
for Limp Bizkit.
Yeah, well, Limp Bizkit was huge back then. Like
I remember, I never understood why.
This was well, yeah. This was like during Nookie, and
I didn't know for the Nookie.
Yeah,
I thought it was the dumbest song.
They made it to their third song, and they like had to escape through a window, and yeah, it was like serious. It was a big deal. It was like over.
I mean, that part that at least sounds cool, but I'm like, I was never really much of a fan of Fred Durst.
Well, you know, and then I wasn't either, but like, and then many years later, living in Jacksonville, it's ironic that Billy mentions Roland. at the beginning of that song, Fred Durst goes, "John Otto, take him to the Matthews Bridge." So Limp Bizkit's from Jacksonville and literally drove over the Matthews Bridge all the time.
That was actually a really good Fred Durst impression.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Sounds just like it.
Yeah, well,
say rolling.
rolling. No, I don't want to go any further. Anyway, so every time I drove over that goddamn bridge, I'm just in the back of my head, rolling.
Literally say that was the first time. I think that might have been one of the first times I heard Limp Bizkit, literally because of wrestling. Like I heard a lot of songs because I got put on a lot of songs because it was like someone's entrance song in the WWF.
Yeah. So that was kind of funny.
I remember Run DMC. So I think D Generation X had Run DMC at some point as like their entrance music. I think they had the King of Rock as like as the entrance music, and it was definitely a banger. But I remember when I went to my new school, and people were asking me what I was listening to, and I was like, oh yeah, Run DMC, King of Rock. That song, that song. That song's crazy. It was like they looked at me like I just recommended like Elvis Presley or something. It's like they go, what? It's like what is it? What is Run DMC? What is? No, you gotta listen to this DMX. I'm like, who the fuck is DMX?
I like DMX. I actually just met which one's still alive? Reverend Run, yeah. I just met him at New York Comic Con last year, and had my Funko Pop signed. I don't have access to it at the moment, but he was really nice. He has a comic book, believe it or not.
I 100% believe it.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Anyway. Rest in power, Jam Master Jay.
Have you ever watched on Netflix? There's a documentary that basically goes through all like the history of hip hop, and it goes by region. So like, all right, this is the New York episode, and there's like an Atlanta episode, in New Orleans.
I haven't, but I got to check it out. That sounds good.
Yeah, and I think there's a Houston. There's like it's really well done.
I watched Reverend Run's show.
Yeah, there's a documentary I think about that too, about that murder.
I think the last Netflix documentary I watched was the one about the Dream Team, the Redeem
that
team,
was so good. Yeah,
the Redeem team with Kobe. Yeah, that was amazing.
Yeah, I'm like, obviously I'm a Celtics fan, but man, it's so hard not to respect Kobe. You know?
Yeah,
that was definitely one of those celebrity deaths that like shook me.
Oh, bet. Yeah, I was a wreck for the entire day, which was crazy because when Kobe, back when he was in his prime, like I would argue with my friends in school because I was a diehard Allen Iverson fan. Like I'm from Philly. Iverson was my guy. That was when I first started playing basketball. I grew up on Michael Jordan, but when I saw AI, I got the jersey, I got the braids. I was doing the cross. That's my guy. So I would argue to the death. AI is better than Kobe. AI is better than Kobe. I don't care what. Shut up. Fuck the Lakers. Lakers suck. AI is better than Kobe. that was my thing. And so I always hated Kobe because especially when the Lakers like just destroyed the Sixers in the finals. I was like, damn. I was so that, but I always respected the hell out of him because he was so damn good. And you just could not respect him, and like after he retired, I gained even bigger appreciation for everything he did. Then when I heard he died, I was just like, shit. Like it surprised even me how much it affected me.
Yeah, there's my old boss when I lived in Jacksonville. She actually went to high school with Allen Iverson. She said he was a prick.
Yeah, probably. I mean, he young Allen Iverson. I could see it.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe she was just jealous because he wasn't giving her no play, but
maybe
he seemed from everything I know, Iverson was. He seemed chill, but definitely definitely a bit of a gangster in his early days. He rolled with a bit of a rough crowd. in those days. He definitely was probably feeling himself for sure.
How do I feel about that Marcus Smart trade? I feel like this is another opportunity to flex a little bit.
He's about to pull up the picture he has with Marcus Smart.
I think it was time. Mark, I loved the way that Marcus played. He was a great player for us, but I don't think there was any like room for growth at this point. Like,
yeah,
I think he's kind of hit his ceiling, and I'm not like in love with Kristaps, but
yeah. Personally, as a Boston hater, I hope it fails miserably. But just objectively looking at it, if he can stay healthy, Kristaps is a great addition. Definitely elevates the team more by the subtraction of Marcus Smart alone, plus the addition of Porzingis. That's a great addition. And yeah, I definitely think Smart had a very clear ceiling. Like he's pretty much like a 25 minute per game guy. I feel like if he's coming off the bench and he's giving you some great defense, just focusing on defense, hitting open shots, occasionally attacking on the closeout, you're good to go. But yeah, what they needed was like a point guard that can like do like high level plays and make good decisions and set Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown up, because both of them can't dribble for shit. And unfortunately, Smart was never that guy.
It came up in my memories recently that like Boston has just always wanted Kristaps for some reason. Like I know Ainge wanted him. There was a rumored trade that would have traded essentially. It would have been in the form of draft picks, but it would have essentially traded Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, and the pick that ended up being Colin Sexton and somebody else at the time, like a player, for Kristaps Porzingis when he was with the Knicks.
Well,
and it didn't end up happening, but
too bad. I would have loved for that to happen for the sake of for Boston, just to see how terrible they would have ended up.
No, you don't make a fleece trade of ruin the Brooklyn Nets life for the next decade and then like pass it on to the Knicks. You want all of New York to be miserable.
Imagine if the Knicks had Brown and Tatum and Sexton.
And they might have had Sexton too. They might not have
I think they would have kept Sexton.
I mean, we traded that pick for Kyrie, so like, who knows what would have happened? Maybe they traded that pick for Kyrie.
Maybe Kyrie plays for the Knicks,
which I think is what he wanted all along anyway.
Yeah, probably.
So yeah, I do think that I think what I love the most about Marcus Smart is like how much he loved being a Celtic, and like Boston fans eat that shit up. Like
yes,
if you are one of us, like you will never have to buy a beer in this city again, and Marcus Smart will never have to. Like when his playing days are over, he'll be a Celtic again, and like he'll do all the special stuff that they do around here. I've shared the story before, but I literally watched Marcus Smart like play Doom Eternal on the hardest difficulty and just would not stop playing until he beat the section that they had for him, because that's where I met him at PAX East. They had a Doom Eternal panel, and one of the guys that was working on the game is from Boston and is a huge Celtics fan, so he used it as an opportunity
to meet Marcus Smart.
He had Marcus Smart and Romeo Langford come in, who just got like his rights renounced by San Antonio today. That dude's about to be out of the league. He's
about to join Dwight Howard in Taiwan.
Yeah, like honestly, that dude, I knew that day that Marcus Smart was a dog and that Romeo Langford was not going to make it. Like you could just tell, like Romeo Langford, like looked like he was a rookie. He was a kid. He looked like somebody had never touched a remote control before. And like, I felt dumber watching him, like trying to play this game. Like it looked like you were like teaching your grandmother how to play a video game.
Oh, maybe you're on to something, Jay. If you want to do a real pre-draft interview when you're seeing if you're going to pick a player, set him up with some Doom Eternal. see how they handle it.
And Marcus Smart was like, "No, I'm going to get through this. No, I'm going to keep going." And they're like trying to cut him off because of like time and whatever. He's like, "Almost there. Keep going." So, anyway.
Marcus Smart. I love that. I love that every time because but I really did. Even though he has his problems, I criticize Marcus Smart. I'm just a fan of him, especially when he messes up on behalf of, because I love it when Boston loses, so I love
he does that nightly. He would make so many bad decisions.
But I respect a guy who's actually loyal despite how obviously disloyal organizations are. Like I just respect how hard he plays. I mean, he literally dyed his hair.
Yeah, I know that you're a Heat fan. What's your take on this Damian Lillard stuff?
This is utter foolishness. This is all utter. Like, as much as I would love for us to get Damian Lillard, it's not happening. Like it's so obvious. So obviously, I love that he wants to play here. As he should. It's great.
Yeah.
But come on, they have no leverage. They don't have any enticing draft picks. Nobody in the NBA wants Tyler Hero. Like their best chance of selling Tyler Hero was to allow him to play in the finals and let him show something, because it's definitely not a good look when your primary trade asset gets injured in like the first round and all of a sudden your team miraculously blows through to the NBA finals better than you've ever looked before.
Yeah.
Like and you're just like, hey, I know we just proved that we're a much better team without him, but would you like him in exchange for No, nobody wants this motherfucker.
I feel like there's this one guy that works on WWE 2K that is a massive Heat fan, and like he just retweets all these like things nonstop, and it's whatever, it's fine. That he's entitled to. But like the entitlement that Heat fans seem to have for Lillard, like just no, like, oh, the Blazers have no leverage. Like bullshit. He signed he's got 4 years on his contract. Yeah. They don't have to trade him.
Yeah,
he can sit his ass down and not play and not make $200 million in the next 4 years.
It's pure delusion. Like I saw a report that Dame Lillard was telling teams not to trade for him. I'm like, what are they like? What is he going to do? Pull a Ben Simmons or just sit out the whole? Like he has no leverage. Like it's not like the Wizards situation where they were motivated to move off of Bill's contract, and unfortunately that made them a victim of the fact that they gave him a no trade clause, which was crazy at the time. But
Dame was so loyal to the Blazers. Why can't they just give him what he wants?
Yeah, they don't care. Yeah, they don't care about that. This is the NBA. Like the fact that they even engaged in trade talks with the Heat is proof of their appreciation for Dame Lillard, because they already knew what the Heat trade package is. It hasn't changed since February.
Because I don't even think the Heat have like if they get 4 first-round picks from the Heat like they want, I don't even think the Heat could do that for like 10 years. Like they've already traded all the picks they can trade.
They can get. I think the Heat can give them 2 right now, and I think they can maneuver some way to get 2 more. But essentially, their only assets they're giving up besides picks is Tyler Hero and Duncan Robinson's contract for salary filler, and that's not happening. Like like I was thinking of like this would have to be a multi-team deal,
right,
for it to even work, because I would think and this is me just trying my best. I'm a professional NBA GM. I built a team. I built my Miami Heat in NBA 2K23 to be a dynasty, mainly through the draft. My current team has LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, LeBron James, Chris Bosh, and Kevin. We just drafted Kevin Durant because I traded for Seattle's future pick in the Kevin Durant draft 5 years previously and ended up being number 1. so I know how to GM, and the only way I can think of to make it work in whatsoever for the Blazers is if Miami sends out, obviously they have to send out Hero and Duncan Robinson, but I know the Blazers want to get rid of Nurk because he's terrible now, and he's got one of the worst contracts in the league. So you take, and he also kind of need a large body just to throw at Jokic in the playoffs if that happens again. So you take Nurk's contract, you give up some picks, you send Hero to someone who wants him, you send Duncan Robinson because maybe they could use a shooter or whoever, and to make the salaries work, and then you get another team.
Because Jovic's name involved.
Yeah, Jovic. Send Jovic because he's a young guy. Maybe they'll try something, and maybe you find some team in the league that wants Tyler Hero, and you really wants Tyler Hero because you want them to give up something, because then you take the assets you get from Hero from them and send them to Portland. So essentially, Portland, the deal would have to be Portland gets something that they actually want from another team that takes on Tyler Hero, and then the Heat take on the Nurkic contract.
Yeah,
and give up 2 first-round picks.
It's a long path to get there.
Yeah, it's a vet. Like realistically they could also just trade with someone like Brooklyn and get a better deal for players that they want. Like maybe I don't think they'll give up Bridges, but maybe they give up Cam Johnson, one of their promising young guards, some of those Phoenix picks.
I've seen like scenarios that people are trying to create where Dame comes to Boston and they don't give up Jalen.
Yeah, that's not happening.
I can't see that. I don't see a path for that. Like we just locked up Kristaps. There's no way we can bring up. I mean, I guess we could technically bring in a fourth guy, but then you're gonna have nothing but like cannon fodder.
You're gonna trade Rob Williams. They're not gonna take that. They're gonna have to take fucking Rob Williams here.
I mean, obviously you have I think in these scenarios they're including Brogdon.
Yeah, they don't. The whole reason you had to trade Smart is because no one wanted Brogdon because he's hurt. Like not, you can't even trade him.
Yeah. No, I'm just like
that's literally
repeating. I don't want Lillard anyway. I mean, he's on the wrong side of 30. I know he's good. I know he's talented. It
would probably help you get a title next year, but long term, he's going to be on a decline.
Yeah, Lillard do that sure thing title and then just go from there. But
because Kristaps, if they all stay healthy, Tatum, Kristaps, and Lillard is definitely a championship, like hands down. So I'll definitely hope y'all don't do it. But the Dame, I don't think Dame, as much as I would love it, I don't think Dame is coming to Heat, because unless a mysterious third team swoops in and something miraculous happens, he ain't going because he has literally no leverage. He has 4 years left in his deal. He's 32, and even though he's coming off his best year, he has no trade clause. He can't sit out. Like there's nothing. He has no leverage yet. He has no leverage.
Yeah,
there's nothing. He's not like he's going to be a free agent.
Right. That's what I think. Like, yeah, it'd be like I don't feel like the Blazers are obligated to trade him.
Yeah, they don't want to. They're not trying to win anyway. That was obvious. They just gave Jeremy Grant. They kept their pick to get Scoot, and they just gave Jeremy Grant $100 million. They're not trying to win.
I feel like they did that for Lillard though, because I feel like I read that him and Grant are like tight.
Yeah, I heard actually that Jeremy Grant deal is what prompted him to demand the trade. Yeah. So I don't know about that. I think they kept Jeremy Grant because he's a youngish player that they wanted to retain, because they have who fits what they're trying to do, because you've seen what they've been building. They got Anthony Simon still in the deal. They just got Scoop. They got some young, athletic guys and I feel like, I guess they were like, Jeremy Grant may fit that way. Also, can take on a bigger scoring role.
Well, Scoot got hurt tonight
at Summer League.
Yeah. He dislocated his shoulder.
That's nothing. You just pop that back in.
Yeah.
I thought it was like a real injury.
Well, I don't know. I kind of glanced over it.
Yeah, basketball players dislocate the shit all the time.
Yeah.
They just pop that back in, and I'm guessing he shut down for the rest of Summer League.
I'm sure.
for sure. I'm surprised he played at all. He probably demanded that he play because obviously they wouldn't want usually top picks don't play summer league anymore.
Wemby's playing.
Wemby's playing.
Yeah,
that's probably going to be like one game.
Maybe. I know Brandon Miller played a few games.
I know
not summer. Well, it was one of the summer league games.
Chet played a few summer league games, and then he was out for the whole year. So
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So Wemby plays one game, and then and so if he so much as looks like he may twist an ankle or trips on someone's foot, he's out of there.
They might pull him if he sneezes.
Like,
or if he gets assaulted by Britney Spears.
Bro, what the hell? That you could literally give me 10 million possibilities, and I would never come up with the combination of Victor Wembanyama and Britney Spears in the same news headline. Especially not her getting backhanded by his bodyguard.
Yeah.
Because she tried to get a photo. What the hell?
I'm surprised she knew who he was. I don't know why, but maybe she's a big basketball fan.
I never thought Britney Spears even knew what basketball was, honestly. I don't know much about her though. She never struck me as a basketball fan. I've never heard of Britney Spears going to any basketball game ever. Like, usually there are certain celebrities who are like at basketball games all the time. Like, like McLovin is a big basketball guy. Obviously,
Celtics fan.
Yeah, Jack Nicholson, obviously Leo DiCaprio. You see different rappers. You see Jay-Z, Beyonce. They'll be there. Drake will be there. I've literally never at any point while watching or watching highlights or seeing the game had to say, "Hey, look, and there's Britney Spears." Like, I've never, like, the Jenners. I've seen Kylie Jenner. I've never seen Britney Spears ever at a basketball game.
Oh my God. The big rumor right now is that Tom Brady is banging Kim Kardashian.
Oh Lord. I thought she was with Pete Davidson.
Not anymore. That's I think long over.
I can't. I'll keep up with this nonsense.
Well, obviously Tom Brady, so like that stuff ends up in my feed. So
of course, I mean, good for him, I guess. No, whatever, or bad. Who knows?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, anyway, I think we'll wrap it up. My butt is been in the seat for long enough.
Yeah, I feel you. This was a interesting episode. We just kind of
went off the rails completely.
But it was fun though. Like, I mean, we have those episodes, where we just talk, and I enjoyed it. It was fun.
Yeah, but you come with a plan, and then you just go from there. That's the beauty of a podcast. So we'll see you next week. Eventually Jay will be on a boat somewhere.
Yeah.
So
we'll figure it out.
So he if his Wi-Fi is working, we'll do something. Otherwise, we'll go on one of those podcast hiatus, and we'll be back once Jay is not in the Bermuda Triangle, assuming he doesn't get trapped under the sea with the bootleg Atlanteans.
My enemies call me Namor.
So thanks for everyone for tuning in once again. Appreciate the support, helping us get on the road to 500 subscribers. I'm Sadat the Gamer.
I'm Jay Shockblast.
I'm Casual Avenger. Still don't got it. Zip it up and zip it out. Peace.
Namor.